Organized Grind with Oracle Uno.
Yeah.
Recorded live at Graph Fruit Studios in South Minneapolis.
Yes, y'all. This is Organized Grind, the podcast, with your host, Oracle Uno, checking in once again. This is episode number 34, and we have another special guest in the building today. We got B McC. What's up, B McC?
What's good, man? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude, thanks for coming through. I've been seeing that you've been starting to teach a little bit about doing podcasts nowadays, right?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. I got this gig recently. It's out in Rosemount with Dakota County Technical College. I'm teaching podcasts and sound stuff to some high school kids.
Nice.
Just a summer program thing, but it's all kids that really want to be there, and they seem genuinely interested in what I'm teaching and stuff like that. So it's been really cool.
That's dope. Do you have to bring your own gear to these classes or anything like that?
Well, it's cool because the instructor that I'm working with, the guy who hired me, he got these little USB mics. They're these little they plug straight into your phone. So I don't know if they're USB, whatever, Lightning things, but they're these like $80 things that just plug right into their phones. But I also am bringing my gear too. So I've been doing a little bit of both. So it's been really cool.
Nice, man. Do any of the kids have like a good podcast cooking up or anything like that?
Well, we started last Monday.
Okay.
And we took this week off for like a break, and then it's going to be another couple weeks after this.
Dope.
So last week we mainly we have another teacher that was teaching them kind of how to how to conduct interviews and stuff like that, and how to talk on the podcast and stuff like that. And then I'm going to come in and teach more about the sound stuff.
Okay.
So I've just kind of done a brief little introduction to microphones, taught them about polar patterns and about gain structure and all that stuff.
Sure.
So I think next week we're going to get down to the meat and potatoes and really just kind of hack away at their individual podcasts and stuff. And then it's cool because the teacher's really open and just wants to get these kids familiar with sound and have them playing around with stuff.
Sure.
And pretty much whatever they're interested in. And one girl is a naturally gifted singer. And he said, yeah, just sit down with her and, see what you guys can come up with or whatever. And I saw her messing around at her desk in GarageBand.
Okay.
And so I sat down with her and I was like, oh, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm trying to figure this out, but I can't figure this out. And I was like, oh, try this, try that. And, I taught her a few pointers in like a 20-minute sit down. And I saw that she was kind of getting the hang of it. So I kind of let her do her thing. And I came back and I'm like, I listened to it and like, this is dope. This is actually pretty dope.
Hell yeah.
And so I've just kind of saw the way that this girl works. And I'll kind of give her little nuggets of, wisdom or whatever. And then I'll kind of like, fall back and let her do her thing. And I'll, keep checking in on her. Yeah. And this past Friday, I set up my recording gear in this dude's office because she's been kind of shy. And she hasn't really shown me her full singing voice and stuff like that.
Sure.
So he was like, set her up in the office, teach her the basics of, how to use your portable gear and stuff, and just let her go. And I'm like, okay, cool. So first of all, I kind of helped her start structuring her song and stuff like that. And so left her in this room, and then we went to lunch, and then I had to dip because I had to go to my other job, but so I pressed save and like tore down my stuff. And then when I got to my other job, I listened to what she recorded. And dude, this girl is ridiculous.
Okay.
I mean, and she doesn't have a lot of experience. But I was impressed with what she laid down, man. I'm like, she reminds me of like a young Beyonce, man.
Wow.
I mean, straight up.
Wow.
Straight up. I mean, I know it's a little early to be saying that, and that's some big shoes to fill, but I just have a feeling about this girl, man. So
yeah.
So it's been a really cool experience so far.
Do you have beats in mind that you could maybe give to her too?
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Shit, man.
I'm sitting on a bunch of stuff, man. I got ideas for days. So
that sounds dope.
Yeah.
So to teach a class on podcasts, is it safe to say that you're a pretty big fan of podcasts?
Oh yeah. I mean, well, I'm more a fan of the production aspect of it. So I would say I'm a fan of just recording audio in general.
Sure.
Just a fan of I wouldn't say that I'm a very I'm very well versed in podcasts. I mean, I listen to some local stuff. I like the Wiseman show.
Okay,
and,
yeah, shout out Wiseman.
Your stuff is dope. And,
Thanks, man.
Different things that like I've heard, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm consistently listening to podcasts on a regular basis or anything, but
yeah, I'm at the point now where I'm trying to get this onto YouTube. So whenever I'm watching a podcast, I'm studying the different cameras that they have happening. You know what I'm saying? So that's like where I'm at as far as like studying. You know, like I'm a huge nerd about like how many cameras do they have set up right now? Is that, you know? And you'll see like the close up view and the profile view and like I just learned a show that I listen to, they actually use GoPros, and I wouldn't have guessed just by how it looks. Like it looks good. And then when I found out it's just two tiny little, you know, I was like, oh shit. So yeah, man, it's just fun to geek out.
Hell yeah.
But why don't we go ahead? We'll get into your hip hop beginnings, man. What was your first experience that you can remember that registers as a hip hop experience in your life? Was it people dancing? Was it a song? Was it a party? Like, what's your first hip hop memory?
Crazy. This is way back. Were you were born in what, like 89?
89, that's right.
So I was born in 85. Okay. So before you were even born,
yeah, man.
When I was like 3, like 88, Tone Loc.
Okay.
Wild Thing.
Sure.
My mom actually used to play, she doesn't even realize it. She thinks like, oh, I don't like a lot of rap and stuff, but she always played rap around the house. She just didn't realize what it was. You know, she just liked the beat or liked, you know.
It was a rap that like infiltrated pop music.
Right, exactly. Yeah. She didn't even register it as rap. She just registered it as like a dance fun song.
Party song.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, literally ever since I can remember, I mean, she would play Tone Loc, she would play, who's the girl that did Buffalo Stance? You know that song?
Yeah, man. Nina Cherry.
She loved that.
That song is amazing.
Yep, I love that song. Yep. So she would play that, and she would play Bobby Brown. Like I came up on Bobby Brown.
That's what's up.
So she was just always just really into funky stuff. And I mean, my parents were big partiers when I was growing up. So it was just like my mom would play this stuff, and we'd dance around the house and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so that literally is my earliest memory. And you know, I have to like remind her that she's the one that like introduced me to rap music without even realizing that she was doing that.
Sure.
So then, I mean, I don't even remember a time where rap wasn't in my life. So I mean, I got into like the earlier pop stuff, like MC Hammer in like 91 when he dropped, and then Criss Cross in like 92 when they dropped, and you know all the stuff that kids would listen to, you know, in California, and then in 93 or 92, 93 when Snoop and Dre dropped. I mean, you know, I'm a Cali kid, so my family moved to Minnesota when I was 9, or right before I turned 9. And so right when like Doggy Style dropped and The Chronic dropped, I mean, it was all over the radio in Southern California, everywhere. I mean, you could not turn on the radio without hearing that.
So you were born in California?
Yep.
Where at?
Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara.
Yes, sir.
And so you went to school in California?
Well, I mean, just
a little
until
bit.
3rd grade, yeah. And then I moved to Minnesota, yeah.
So what was that like as far as the school transition, especially at that age?
Oh,
like
crazy,
going
man.
from California to up here. What was the school transition like, and then why the move up here?
I'm glad that you asked that because it's a really interesting story. My mom's family is all from Minnesota.
Okay.
So my mom's both of her parents were born and raised in Minnesota. And she wasn't born here, but she kind of grew up here off and on. So like her family's roots are from here. And My grandpa was actually a radio DJ, so they moved around a lot. And when my biological grandmother died, my mom's mom, they moved to California because he got a job out there.
Okay.
And then my parents met when they were really young. And then, so my mom, we would always take trips back here growing up because my mom's sisters lived here and stuff like that. And they were always really close. And we actually moved here once in 87 when I was 2, but my dad couldn't take the winters, and it was just a rough thing. So I think we ended up back there and within like 6 months or something like
Okay.
that.
So
and then
is your dad from the West Coast too then?
yeah,
Okay.
so my dad was born and raised in California.
Okay.
And so we took one of our yearly or bi-yearly trips up here in like 93, and it was actually going to like one of my cousin's school things that made them decide to move up here. It was one of all the deciding factors, because they didn't like the school system in California and stuff like that, and we were living in kind of a semi rough gang area.
Okay.
And it was kind of in the school, even in the elementary
Right.
schools a little bit too.
Well, I mean, so this was like around the crack era.
Right. Yeah, right around that
Yeah.
time. Yeah. I mean, I remember in parks seeing needles, and stuff like that,
Right.
in Cali and all that stuff. I mean, so when my parents saw that the way the schools looked here and stuff, they decided that was kind of all deciding factor. And then my uncle had a business, and I think he was able to hire my dad on or something like that. My dad was always out of work in California and stuff like that. So there was just a bunch of different factors. But yeah, the school thing was a deciding factor. But when I got up here, man, I mean, you asked about my whole school transition.
Yeah,
and
so
stuff
did
like
you
that.
have like a lot of friends back there in California?
I mean, well, in California I did.
Right. Yeah.
So I came here, and I don't know why. I mean, it was like a complete culture shock. It was just a weird transition. I mean, in California, I was like the cool kid and the fun kid.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
when I moved to Minnesota, I was the weird kid
Sure.
and the outcast kid. And that shaped me growing up, and I think that's what turned me to the arts and stuff like that was kind of being the outcast and, not having a lot of friends here. And, and one of the only kids that kind of grew up on hip hop and stuff like that.
Sure.
And that kind of drove me to the artistic stuff.
So when you got up here, what was the school that you went to?
Zachary Lane Elementary in Plymouth.
In Plymouth?
Yep.
All right. So you were in the suburbs?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool.
Yep. Yeah, so straight to the burbs. So it might have been a completely different experience if I moved to
Like straight to St.
Minneapolis
Paul or Minneapolis
St.
or
Paul,
something?
yeah. Yeah. So I'm almost wondering, it probably wouldn't have been that much of a culture shock thing.
Right. Yeah, because Plymouth and that area, coming from Southern California,
Right.
That
yeah.
is quite the contrast.
Because I'm used to diversity,
Yeah.
like I'm used to being raised around Mexicans and stuff like that,
Sure.
and so, going to a school with all white kids, I think it was just completely different for me, and it was just weird.
Sure.
You know?
Well, hey, man, why don't we go ahead? We'll get into the first commercial break. I feel like it's a good time for it. We're chilling here with B McC on Organized Grind, the podcast with Oracle Uno, episode 34. We'll be right back. Hey, what's up, world? This is Oracle Uno checking in to let you know that my group 1+1, which consists of MCs Dispute One, as well as myself, Oracle Uno, we will be opening up for Devin the Dude at Amsterdam Bar and Hall in downtown St. Paul on July 21st, 2019. Special guests include MC Rents, T-La Sean, Capacity, and then of course 1+1, which is me and Dispute One. This is the Still Rolling Up Tour 2019 at Amsterdam Bar and Hall, downtown St. Paul. 18 plus, 7 p.m. start time. Tickets are available online at www.amsterdambarandhall.com, or you can check out the other outlets such as the Amsterdam Bar and Hall itself, Electric Fetus, or 331 Club. Once again, Devin the Dude is coming to downtown St. Paul, and Oracle Uno and Dispute One as 1+1 are opening up. Come check us out. Still Rolling Up Tour 2019. Peace. Yes, y'all. Organized Grind, the podcast with Oracle Uno, episode 34 in full effect. Got B McC in the house, Nice
Yo.
Guy Entertainment.
By the way, I got to check out that show. June 21st. What day of the week is that?
July 21st.
July 21st.
And you know what? I do not know what day of the week that is off the top of my head. That is a Sunday.
Oh, word. I
Sunday.
got to try to make it to that one.
Yeah, it's going to be
Sounds
good.
dope.
I've been a fan of his for ever.
Hell yeah.
Ever. But yeah, man, we were just talking about how you grew up, how you made the move up here from California. Do you remember the first time you experienced local music?
Local
from
music.
the Twin Cities. I should specify.
So I can't remember the first shows that I went to. So I mean, as far as local music goes, like I said, I grew up in the burbs, and so I didn't know a lot of hip hop kids. I was kind of one of the few hip hop kids that went to my high school,
Sure.
and so when I got into rapping and making beats and stuff, I think I was just a rapper at the time, and I was just starting out. And there was this thing called mp3.com. I don't know if you remember that. It was like a precursor to SoundClick
right.
and a precursor to SoundCloud.
Yeah,
So
this was in between Napster, right?
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty much right after Napster,
Yeah.
right before SoundCloud and SoundClick took
Yeah,
over.
mp3.com, man.
And so I would listen to different beats because people would post their beats on there like the early days.
Sure.
And I would search local and stuff like that. So I would see who's, around and stuff like that. And I didn't have any sort of experience, but little 16-year-old me was just kind of determined to find somebody to work with and somebody to kind of mentor me.
Okay.
And so I hit up somebody that was really close in Osseo, and I was like, hey man, I don't have any experience. I need somebody to, record me, give me beats. I don't have much money. Can you help me? That sort of thing. And the dude that hit me back is actually still in the scene, and you might even know him, WAR,
Okay.
Jerry.
Okay. Yeah, dog.
yeah.
Maybe it was Jerry that threw that show.
Probably.
That I was thinking
Yep,
about, that we'll
yep.
talk about later.
Yep.
Okay.
So he was like one of the first dudes to hit me back and be like, yeah, man, come through. And
Wow.
so, yeah, I was 16, and, I had like a little crew that I
Still
rolled
in school?
with. Yeah, I was in like 10th grade.
Okay. Were your friends from school, or did you meet them outside
So
of school?
they were from school, but like way back, so they didn't, so we were doing creative stuff like early on together and stuff like that.
Nice.
And we went there. We went to Jerry's house, WAR, and I was just terrified because we met online, and Jerry was like 10 years older than me or whatever, and I walk in and there's like his nephew there and this big huge dude, and I was just like just sketched out at first, and
man.
but he made me feel super comfortable, and then we just became close friends after that, and I think it was probably through him that I started kind of getting into the scene a little
Okay.
bit. Because then I was already going to high school with Nemo, so I went to high school with Nemo the Hooligan.
Yeah, shout out Nemo.
And so through my connection with WAR and with Nemo, then I started kind of just going to local shows. Like Capacity was from that area, from Maple
Right.
Grove, and Nemo was working with Capacity for a while. And so I think that might have been, kind of my introduction to that world.
Yeah.
And then through doing shows with like Capacity and Nemo and stuff like that, then I met you and like a bunch of local cats like Out of Bounds and all those people, and it just kind of spiraled, and that's kind of my introduction to it.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to think. There were a couple of venues that were kind of connected, like as far as meeting people, because I'm trying to remember where I first met you, because I know we did that show at the Annex. So the place was called like Lone Tree, or like the Annex.
Oh yeah, yep, I remember that. Where
Lone Tree.
was that even?
I don't know. I think it's been renamed and
Probably
made into many different venues since then.
It's crazy because back in the day I didn't drive, so I would always ride with Nemo and stuff like that. So now like I'm trying to like
the bus.
trying to put pieces together now that I drive, and like where were those places? Because I would just be chopped in the back seat, like not really paying attention to where we were going half the time and stuff like that.
But
so,
so me and you played this show, and Esid and Mike Shank were a group called
Living Stereo.
Yup. So they had played. They might have headlined. I played. You played, and then I think it was that War dude that might have.
I do kind of
put
remember
that
that.
together.
I think so.
But this
I think
was
you're
like
right.
2004.
Yep, I think you're
or
right.
something like that.
It had to have been between like 2004 and 2006.
And I just remember I was like 15.
Yep.
And during my set, I'm up there rapping. I think they gave me like a half an hour or something as a 15-year-old. So I'm just doing whatever bullshit. I like brought some mixtape beats and shit.
Yep.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm up there rapping. The only person in the crowd is this extremely drunk dude, just off his gourd, doesn't even like, looks like he needs to be at like a country show or something like that, just into the fucking rapping. So it's just him, and there's this picture of me on stage, and it's an empty room except for this one dude who's just like
into it. That's
so
dope.
gone, and like it's a perfect like struggle rapper picture.
Hell yeah.
Like when your only fan is this
Right.
dude or whatever. But yeah, man,
You need to make that into a meme or something.
straight up
Straight up
dog.
meme worthy.
But yeah, it was like the Blue Nile, Dinkytowner, and then
Yep.
like 2 other venues
Yep.
at the time, and like
Dinkytowner was where it's at.
everyone kind of connected
Yep.
at those places.
Dude, I met so many people going to those shows back in the day. Like
Yeah.
Blue Nile, Dinkytowner.
Yeah,
Dude,
Dinkytowner
there
was
were
the
some of the
shit.
best shows there, man. I mean, the scene is still dope, but I mean,
Right.
just the vibe back then was just crazy, man. I mean, you could see like Prof out there. You
Yeah.
could see Idea would come out there, and just all these really, and Parallax, Chance York's old band would play all the time, and
Dinkytowner was the first place that I learned how to go from 0 people to packing the place.
Right.
Like that was the first venue where I actually started to be able to pull a crowd.
Yep.
And like I remember being so proud, like it was maybe my 7th show that I had done there, but I finally had like the little pit filled,
Yep.
and little, and
That
you only needed like 30 people,
Right.
But if you had those 30 people, like it looked like it was fucking
Right.
a lit show. And like I finally got to the point where I was like consistently able to do these good shows, and then it closed. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
dude.
saying? It was just like, damn.
I
and
think it
like,
was 10 years ago this year.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure it was 2009.
Holy shit.
I'm almost positive because I was wrapping up my album Mr. Nice Guy when I found out about it. And we were just crushed. And then and then I finished Mr. Nice Guy, and I had the release party booked at what was it called? There's another venue, but the venue shut down before I even got to have my release party there, and it was already booked there and everything. But it was just like 2 venues just dropped in like a month or 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That place was definitely special. And I really do feel like the timing is what made that place special.
Yep.
Just because so many of the groups that have went on to become huge, like were
Right.
just developing
Yep,
there.
exactly.
And like you could almost feel it, like everyone was this close from
Right.
popping.
Yep.
And Dinkytowner was like where you would go to
Yep.
like catch like cats that were just on that verge
Yep.
of just about to pop.
Right.
I miss it, man.
Me too, man.
But all right, so let's rewind. You and War are doing tracks. What kind of made you start taking it seriously? Like what was the next step that went from you being like, all right, I'm gonna record a little bit, to like now I'm thinking of like going to college for this. Like this is my move.
Oh, that's a long story, but
Bring it on, man.
So for probably, I graduated high school as a super senior in 2004. And for damn near, like, it was ridiculous, like 6 or 7, but probably about 6 years, I did absolutely nothing with my life. I mean, other than like going to shows and like networking and playing these shows like we were just talking about.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was literally just like sitting in because I didn't have a driver's license, so I was sitting in my parents' basement just making beats and for like years, and then just like writing with friends to go to these shows and like network and stuff like that. But it just got to be pathetic, like after a while, where I was just like, I wasn't progressing, I wasn't, doing shit. And I finally, like, when I was like 25, 26, started to like actually make the steps to become an adult.
Sure.
Essentially, like, I finally got a driver's license, finally got a full-time job, finally got a car, finally, like, just we're doing all these things, but I was just never fucking happy, like, with any of it. I was just like what, I'm doing all these things that you're supposed to do, but I'm still unsatisfied.
Yeah.
And
right.
and I was like, from the time I graduated high school until then, I always wanted to go to IPR.
Okay.
Like, I don't know why. IPR was just always one of those things. I had friends that had graduated from there and done bigger things, and it was just always kind of in the back of my mind. And my girlfriend at the time, she didn't like give me an ultimatum, but she was more or less was like, you need to go to school for something. She's like, you need to do something.
Encouraging you.
Yeah, encouraging me. Because I had all these different, I would get into one situation with somebody where I was like recording a project, and then like a hard drive would crash and I'd lose everything, or like I would get stuff stolen out of studios, and it was just like all these stupid things that were holding me back. And so I finally, like, once I decided to go to IPR, it was like 2013. So I spent like 2 or 3 years just kind of doing the adult thing and figuring out, get the full-time job, do this, do that. And then I was like, I always had the idea to start my company, Nice Guy Entertainment. Okay. Because I came out with my album Mr. Nice Guy back in 2009. Okay. So that was always in the back of my head, and it was always a goal of mine. So I was like, why don't I finally go to IPR and make this dream a reality? I can't see myself doing anything else. I can't see myself, working a typical 9-to-5 job my whole life, and it's just always been my dream. And IPR was just kind of the logical step in my head. Okay. And so I finished up 50 beats. I built a website and business cards from October to January 1st. And I was ready to go. And so I started at IPR, and then all of a sudden I was meeting all of these different people that, shared similar ideas. And then all of a sudden NGE, my company, was just coming together. And then by that September, we had a full like working crew / label. We had an engineer, we had a DJ, we had, people doing graphic design, people building our website, different things like that. And then in April the following year, we had our first bigger show at Poorhouse, and brought out a couple hundred people, and started like really just kind of doing all these different things, like discovering talent and developing talent and producing and engineering, and it just kind of led to all these different things. And I was booking shows left and right. Booking shows is not a passion of mine, but I was doing it out of necessity, and I kind of felt like the last couple of years I kind of built my name off of booking shows.
All right. So what did you go to IPR for? What was your major?
Audio engineering.
So that was your primary
thing,
on paper that you're going to learn.
Right.
What are some of the jewels that you picked up? Have you been able to tell the improvement in your production?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So I mean,
so like what? What's like one major jewel that you could share?
Is don't turn down. I would say go after every opportunity you can. Okay. And don't doubt yourself.
Nice. Yeah,
so that was the main thing that I got out of IPR was, the confidence that I needed. And I mean, a lot of people go to IPR and you're kind of ignorant if you think like, oh, that piece of paper is going to get you like,
of course,
like a day job, like a 9-to-5, like
right.
Some people don't realize that you got to hustle your ass off once you get in there. But what it gave me was kind of a structure, or like a foundation to build my knowledge on. And I was able to work with a lot of people that have been in the industry for a long time, and getting little gems of knowledge from them and stuff like that. And just that hands-on experience with the gear and building my network. I mean, those were just priceless things. And the school as a whole just really helped me out, man. I mean,
sure.
So, I mean, you can talk shit about those type of colleges and all that stuff, but I mean, I really have zero regrets because it's just been a positive experience through and through.
And I see it as any other trade school. It's just a trade school. I mean, if you're going to school to be a someone who will like fix a car or whatever. I'm going to stutter on the word because so I'm trying to walk around it with what I'm saying. But any other trade, like if you're not into that trade that you're trying to learn, it's not gonna put you in the best place when you're done there.
Exactly.
So that's the same thing with like the music school thing.
Exactly.
It's like if you have a specific focus, like this skill is what I want to improve, and then I'm also gonna naturally link up with people who are going here, who teach here, because we all have a similar, interest.
Right.
That's a beautiful thing. But if you're just like, I don't know what I want to do, so I'll sign up for like rap school.
Right, exactly.
Then yeah, it's not gonna work out for you, man.
Yeah, if you just go to the,
you're just gonna float along and just kind of get lost in like the space.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, at IPR it's kind of a running joke. Like, I'm just here to make beats, man. Like that's like the running joke at IPR.
That's
it's
funny.
Just like, but I mean, it kind of just opened the door to all these different things, and some people don't think like, oh, with this school you can go help teach an audio class, or like you can. I just did some 30-second commercials for North Hennepin Community College,
Nice.
and I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't take just this random class teaching that exact thing.
That's dope.
That kind of opened my mind to that possibility. I wouldn't even thought about that.
Yeah, that's like a potential product for your service package that you can do for people.
Exactly. So it really just opened the door for me, and I realized like, oh, I got that student debt to worry about and all that stuff. Like I realized that, and that's a bitch and a half. But
Hell yeah.
I mean, all in all, man, like I said, it's just been a fantastic experience.
Sure.
I ended up getting 2 degrees because I started with the production and engineering degree, and at the time, because I had started Nice Guy Entertainment like right after I went there, I wasn't doing a lot of engineering. And I talked to Chris Caesar, who was working at Undertone, and he was doing sound design for his full-time gig.
That's tight.
And so I was like, that's a sick job.
Hell yeah.
And so I'm like, kind of maybe want to switch my focus, because it wasn't like too drastic of a switch to get the sound design degree. And so I shifted my focus to the sound design for visual media, and that's what I initially graduated with. But then I only needed like 14 credits for my production and engineering degree to finish that. And so like literally like a year before I graduated, I started to actually do more engineering. So I was like, it would be cool to just get these 14 credits. So but at the time that I graduated, I wasn't able to do that. I wasn't able to do it back to back. So I had to take like a 2-year break. But then this past year, I was able to get the funding and go back and finish that degree, and now I have 2 degrees.
Dope,
so
man.
It's pretty dope.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's dope.
Appreciate it.
So now rewind again back to you starting to book shows, right? Mm-hmm. What was your introduction to throwing shows? Like, did someone help you with the process, or did you say, I'm just gonna look for the venue and just go at it?
Yeah, it was really out of necessity, because I'm trying to think of the first thing that I ended up booking, because I think it might have been my release party that I ended up booking, because I'm trying to think of the name of the venue, but I opened for Tech 9 there back in the day. Back in 06, Trocaderos. You remember?
Trocaderos.
Yeah, Trocaderos.
Hell yeah.
So Trocaderos, I had my album release party booked there in 09 through my buddy Brian Mingy, who was running sound there. He booked that for me.
It's a nice place to book.
Oh yeah. So he was running live sound there, so he was like able to get the venue. Dude, it was hella tight. I mean, we had put so much time and energy into promotion and stuff like that, and it was gonna be like a stacked lineup. And Mingy, my buddy, he was living out in Texas, I think, for a little while. So I think he had like booked the show and then bounced. But he was going to come back to run sound for my release party. And as he's like almost on the plane, he calls me and he's like, "Yo, Trocaderos just shut their door."
Oh, damn.
And they didn't tell anybody that was working. I had to find out from somebody.
Damn.
And it's like, he's like literally flying back for like to run live sound and like visit family or whatever, and I'm just like out of luck. I mean, this was probably 2 days before the show was supposed to go down, so I'm like scrambling trying to find a venue.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't remember how much time went by, but I finally locked down within like I think a couple weeks Barfly.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and they they're still doing the Loft. I mean, the Loft is more like electronic nowadays.
Right.
But back then, I think it was a lot of like hip hop.
For sure. Yeah. When I had seen some of the newer shows that happened there, I was a bit confused because I was like, is this a new Loft? Or is it the same one? But, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, so now it's more of electronic, but that was my first, and I didn't even really, you helped me remember that because I didn't even remember that was actually my first time booking.
Okay, so you're directly in contact with the staff at the Loft now,
right? And
you kind of had to explain, like Trocadero's, like I had the show,
exactly.
So what happened there?
Yeah, so I mean, I just kind of set that up and just sent a bunch of emails and stuff like that, and some people got back to me and some people didn't, and then they were like, we just need, I can't remember what the deposit was, but there was just like some sort of deposit that I had to throw down.
I was going to ask about that with Trocadero's because I feel like that would be definitely like a deposit kind of
I think the only reason we didn't have to is because Mingy worked there.
That's tight.
So I think that was why we could just get in there.
Sure.
But yeah, dude, that was just a bummer, but Barfly came through and we ended up getting 150 or 200 people or something like that. So it went really well.
Yeah.
So then they were like down to help me set up another one.
That's tight.
So initially, like I was just kind of booking out of Barfly for a little while. I can't remember how many shows we ended up doing there. And that kind of went sour a little bit. And then I was doing this bar in Maple Grove for a little while, and I brought
Organized Grind
like,
with Oracle Uno.
Sorry about that.
Recorded live at Graph Fruit Studios in South Minneapolis.
I totally forgot to mute that. That's my fault.
That's dope, though.
But yeah, all right. So you were doing the booking at this bar in the Maple Grove?
Yeah, so
area?
in Maple
All
Grove.
right.
And I brought like so like Anna Lyrical did some stuff there. Mercy's May did some stuff with me there.
Yeah.
I can't remember who else I brought out there, but I did like a few of those. But again, like I don't want to get into details, but it just did not end very well with me with doing that. So like I took a break from like the booking thing for a while because I didn't like the drama that surrounded with it because a lot of my booking experiences with the couple venues that I did book out of ended with kind of drama. Yeah. And so
that's unfortunate.
And it was just like all these different things, and it was part of the reason why I ended up going back to IPR was just all these like different things just kind of kept on falling apart. And so it made me want to just like get into other things. But then once I started a label, then it was kind of a necessity to start booking again. Because I was developing this talent and they needed shows and stuff like that. So then we got a connect through Poorhouse because Mingy was actually running side of Poorhouse.
Tight.
So then we started booking at Poorhouse, and then Anna Lyrical got us our first show at Honey. So then we started booking at Honey. And I've been able to book a bunch of different random shows since then.
So Honey and Poorhouse, like what are the differences in booking for the two of them?
They're actually really similar. I don't know how much details I can give.
That's okay.
But
because it almost seems like, all right, so one room, it's almost like a challenge at Honey, especially if you're not, like, if you don't have a particularly built-in kind of party crowd for your night. Honey almost seems like it's hard to get, like, your average person
for sure
into the room. And whereas Poorhouse, it's almost like, all right, now you have the bigger space, and you would think it would be easier to get people in there. But then it's almost like, but what if you don't?
Right. It totally depends.
It's like, oh, shit. Whereas, like, Honey, if you don't really feel that bad.
Right.
But, like, with Poorhouse, you might feel a little worse.
Yeah. No, I've had some bummer-ass nights at Poorhouse.
Yeah?
Man. I've had some really good nights there.
Sure.
Mean, like, our first show that we did there was a bash, man. And I feel like consistently, our first year at Poorhouse was fantastic. I mean, but we were doing shows every 3 months or something rather than like a show like a month.
Sure.
So we would have time to plan and time for promo and time for stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think where we kind of ran into like issues is when we started doing like constant shows there. And it was like, I mean, I like booking shows when there's a reason now.
Sure. Yeah, man.
So I don't really just book random like Tuesday nights or anything like that anymore.
Right.
Because I kind of learned pretty quick in over a couple years that I don't like booking unless there's a reason. So now it's mainly like release parties or benefit shows or just different things like that to give like a reason to come out,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of just like the random Tuesday night shows,
Right.
Because it's just like, it's more work for little reward,
Yeah, and I definitely like applaud those that take on the challenge of booking the Tuesday nights. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to y'all. But like, yeah, it's rough. It's rough for that Tuesday.
Exactly, man.
All right. Why don't we go ahead? We'll get into the second commercial break. We're already at the 40 line here as far as the minutes go. We'll get into the second commercial break here. We'll come back. I play a game called the Lightning Gauntlet, so we'll get into that.
Oh, snap. That sounds like some Jimmy Fallon shit.
Oh, shit. And then, shout out to Jimmy Fallon. I just saw the Roots this weekend.
Oh, really?
So they were just here
at
the casino.
I didn't realize they even came to Minnesota.
It was tight, man. Black Thought killed it. The whole band killed it. They played for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Oh, shit.
Whole mashups
Where
and
was
everything.
that?
Black Thought's out there singing his ass off. I'm like, what the?
Crazy.
At, I'm going to stutter on the name, Mystic Lake Casino.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
That's dope.
It was out there.
I didn't realize they were there.
Shout out to my guy, Paul, who brought me out. But yeah, man, that shit was tight. All right, but yeah, second commercial break. Yeah, you've made me think of the Roots. We'll get right back here. It's Organized Grind, the podcast, kicking it with B McC, episode 34. We'll be right back.
Yo. Representing the Midwest, this is Truth Maze. Yes, y'all. Check out the new EP. It's entitled The Holy Bible. You can find it on Spotify and Apple Music and elsewhere. Red Pill Music, baby. You see, with my words I can heal or kill. Talk fuck shit or truly keep it real. I can grab up a burner and flame my brother, or he and I can train so we elevate each other. I could talk about pussy all day and all night and not admit I'm toxic and don't treat women right. I could tell everybody how to pop a new pill, or tell the next generation the matrix is real. Cause what I know is I hold the power at will. Still sharp and still, goddamn it, it's ill. For mentally the blade I hold, it takes skill, specially designed so I can kill Bill. When the fake shit in me I need to reveal. That's what a God does with the ability to build. My soul is my rock, my spirit's my shield. My soul is my rock, my spirit's my shield.
Yes,
That shit
y'all.
goes hard.
Hey, shout out Truth Maze. That's off of the Holy Bible. Yo, this is Organized Grind, the podcast, episode 34. Kicking it with B McC. Are you enjoying yourself, man?
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you for having me, man.
Shit,
dope.
Thanks for coming through, man. It's always a pleasure to talk some fly hip hop shit with someone who's been through it just as much as I have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
appreciate you,
you've
man.
seen all the glory days that I have.
Everything.
For the most part, so.
All the glory and not so glory.
Oh my God, there might be more not glorious than glorious, but that might make it more glorious.
Part of the story.
Hell yeah. So we're going to go ahead and put B McC through the Lightning Gauntlet here. The Lightning Gauntlet is a game that we like to play in Organized Grind, the podcast. 3 random questions. If you would like to submit your own questions for me to ask the random artists and people that appear on Organized Grind, the podcast, send your questions to organizedgrindpodcast@gmail.com. You can send me as many as you want, and I will use them shits. So first question for B McC of the Lightning Gauntlet. In your opinion, which U.S. president did more than any other to change America for the better?
Barack Obama.
Any reason why?
He was dope. No, I mean,
He was dope.
I don't know. I just feel like he might not have got everything done that he wanted to get done, but he had the best of intentions with everything. Like, yeah. I mean, we could get into all the details, but
for sure.
Yeah.
Word up. Question number 2 for B McC on the Lightning Gauntlet. Every 4 years, February gets an extra day, also known as a leap year. If you could add your own original oddity to the calendar year, what would it be?
Like an extra day?
Anything you want to the calendar. Could be an extra day. Could be a holiday.
Shit. It's supposed to be lightning, so it's supposed to be fast.
Don't worry about it. It's all good.
An extra. What about like a nice day, like, because I'm nice guy entertainment, so like a day where you just gotta be nice to everybody.
Okay.
You just gotta be friendly.
Sure.
So yeah, an extra day to just be kind to everybody.
I like it, man. I can dig that. Question number 3, last question for B McC. In one sentence, what do you believe is the secret to living a meaningful life?
Helping others,
All right.
and always. I mean, that I've really been thinking about my life's purpose lately, and creation and helping others. That's
Word
helping others to create, helping people just in general, and just so helping others.
Yeah. I mean, creation is already an amazing thing
Right.
that a human being can do. So in order, to be able to help someone achieve that who maybe may not have gotten that push to ever do it and find it
Exactly.
out, amazing, man.
Yep, exactly. Those are the two things that I finally realized my life's purpose, and it's taken me a long time to really just like who is B McC and who is, Brandon McCollum.
Sure.
And it's, I'm somebody that helps others, and I'm somebody that's creative, and I help others be creative.
Dope, man.
So.
I can fuck with that, man. That's what the podcast is all about, man. Organized grind and positivity and just improvement in general.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? So
I like it.
Thank you for coming on. It's
Thank you.
It's your time to shine right now. Why don't you let us know what's happening in B McC's world? Where can they find you? Where can they check you out? What's cracking?
So I run a company called Nice Guy Entertainment. Like I said, that is my main focus right now, and we have 5 people on our roster besides myself. Well, I think including myself, actually. So we have 2 JD, we have Free Drugs, we have Ben Jam and K, and then we have DJ Nick Twist, and then myself. So we had a couple releases coming up. The first one being a single. It's called Be Free, the remix, and it's going to be off of a Nice Guy Entertainment compilation that I'm going to come out with
Nice.
later this year.
Okay.
And it'll just be an assortment of songs in a collaborative fashion. So it'll be me and my crew producing, but we'll invite other guest artists and rappers and stuff like that. And that's how this song came about.
Sure.
So this song Be Free, it was a song that I had the beat for a long time, and my buddies Evan and Preston liked it, and they laid down a song, and it just sat on my hard drive for like a couple years because they ended up doing other things, and life happened or whatever, and what they laid down was really cool. So I kind of rearranged it, and then it had an open verse once I rearranged it, and I used the hook and then a few of the other things that they did, and with this open verse I was like, oh, I should use this for the compilation and just see who would want to get on it. And so I sent the beats out to a few people that I had an idea for this compilation. I sent it out to Nur-D, and this was one of the beats that he picked. He didn't know that what the people were singing on initially. He just liked the beat.
Sure.
So I was like, oh, this is a song that I haven't gotten their permission yet, but I think that you would fit well with this. So here's the version with the lyrics on it. And he's like, oh shit. And he came like 2 days later and laid down his verse. So I mean, this was like a year ago or over a year ago, and so it was kind of a process. And then I finally, like on my own, I just kind of finished this song and finished the mixing and stuff like that, and showed everybody. And finally, everybody was like, "Oh shit, this is tight."
That's
so
dope.
Everybody that was initially on it to like who threw down on it later, ended up liking it.
Okay.
And I got DJ Nick Twist doing cuts on it. And then my buddy Brandon Jacobson doing bass.
Oh, tight.
And then another friend doing piano.
Okay.
So it's just a hodgepodge of like 5 or 6 people throwing down on this track.
Nice.
And it turned into something really dope.
Dope.
So that's like the main focus right now. And then we got another project dropping on July 11th by my buddy Ben Jam and K.
Okay.
We got a release party for him. at Dave Block Brewery that night, so on July 11th. And that his album, Kid with the Keys, will be available on all streaming services, and it'll be available for $5 at the show.
Okay.
So
tight. So if people want to find you, link up with you, where can they find you?
So Nice Guy ENT for all social media.
Okay.
I think it's under the Nice Guy Crew on Facebook because they won't let me change it. And the guy that has Nice Guy ENT, I've messaged him several times, and he just will not give it up. So even though he hasn't used it in years, and he has
that's about right.
like 2 likes.
I hate that shit.
Yeah. So give me Nice Guy ENT, dude.
All right, word up. So Nice Guy ENT on all socials.
Yes, sir.
Dope. This is Be Free by the Crew?
Yeah, pretty much the Crew. Yeah.
Featuring
Nur-D, Evan Slack, and Preston.
Dope. This has been Organized Grind, the podcast, episode 34 with Oracle Uno. As always, peace and love.
Organized Grind with Oracle Uno. Recorded live at Graph Fruit Studios in South Minneapolis.
Light is up. Just for everybody in the struggle.
I wanna be free, Monday to Sunday, and every moment in between, yo, I wanna be me. When I get up out of bed and I look into the mirror, know I really wanna love what I see. And I want the same for you. Let go of the pain you're holding to. Throw it out the window and then go dance. If you wanna dance, if you wanna move, then let it all down. Go ahead like there's no one else around. Go ahead, cause there's love that can be found. Let's get it right up off the ground. Yeah, it's cheesy, but I just want something to brighten your day. I just want love that can take you away. I want the light from your smile to be found from like miles and miles and miles away.
Now we're riding with some good energy, and now we're flying with some positivity, and now we're soaring in pure ecstasy. Be free with me. I remember a time when I didn't have anything. Grew up with junkies and all we would do is drink. Homeless and hungry, I turned to a needle. Forgot all my problems in mythical lands. Now I can say I look back and I'm happy at how it turned out, cause it made me a man. Gave me a purpose, it gave me a plan, and I would do it all over again. Keep up, hanging there, you'll last. Focus on the future and forget about the past. Keep up, just don't give up now. With this music you can do a revolutionary sound. Keep up, hanging there, you'll last. Focus on the future and forget about the past. Keep up, just don't give up now. With this music you can do a revolutionary sound. Now we're riding with some good energy, and now we're flying with some positivity, and now we're soaring in pure ecstasy. Be free with me. And now we're driving in your red Grand Cherokee, and don't you worry about a thing, yeah, you're with me. And no, we don't want no jealousy. Be free with me. Think it's crazy how the world is so damn full of hate. Yeah, you are loved, someone up above, I want you to know.